Hello, anyone out there who might be watching. I remember how to do all these things when I'm going live. But I'm going to talk about the draft. This is just me doing the draft for the next until the draft ends. I will be hanging out here doing draft, discussing picks. I got to catch up. I went and had a moment trying to help out my own kiddo. But yeah, it is a great time to be a baseball fan. The draft is fantastic and I am having fun. So we'll see. I should set this up so I can see I got comments. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. An everyday are there and a Heminger. This is not the podcast itself. I'm literally just doing a stream. So you also get an additional in depth. Don't be mad that Oakland took Miles. That was an overdraft. That's a bad pick. Okay, so now I got to catch up. Nationals, Yohandy Morales. Interesting. He was 40th ranked player on my board. He went 40th. That is kind of humorous. 40th. I should probably do a re-rack of who my top 10 are, but I also have to first just see where the picks were. The draft is my Christmas. Oh, I see Justin's going to be ticked off. Colorado just took Sean Sullivan. That's one of his dudes. Ryan Lasco. That's, man. I don't know what the A's are doing. Like, every pick is a budget saving pick. I don't get the A's. I like Morales where he went. Ryan Lasco is interesting. He just didn't develop the way you're hoping. There's upside there, and he's a great athlete. Pittsburgh with Mitch Jebb was someone who I thought Cleveland would target. It's an okay pick. I had him. Where did I have Mitch Jebb? I had him about 50. 51. So that's fine. I don't know if he's one of my 10 best available. Sammy Stafura was a good value. The Reds, I mean, that's 3 high ceiling picks for the Reds. It's going to take a lot of money to get it. Picks to get. Yeah, I wonder if they're. Who is Sean Z and why is he? Yeah, that was weird. I had someone in my studio who I didn't know who that was. They left. That was very odd. But getting back to it, I like most of these picks in round 2. Outside of the A's, it's Morales is a good pick there. Lasco is a ceiling. He's got room for growth. Jebb is a solid value. He's okay. Very much Guardians type. Stafura is also a Guardians type. Blake Walters is one of the many, like I said, best class in Illinois history. He was a guy who was raising light in the process, did not make my 57 cut, but was close. Max Anderson didn't make my cut either, but was close. Had a huge cape, kind of limited physically. Not the best athletic tools, but just hits. And then Sean Sullivan at Wake. And hey, there, Kemp Alderman. Love that pick to Miami. That's probably my favorite second rounder so far. Big time exit velocities. What am I doing wrong? The people keep jumping in here. I don't understand what I did wrong. Oh, I know what I did wrong. I posted the wrong flipping. That's my fault. Sorry for language. I need to close mine out and do this again because I gave everyone a stream link instead of a. Yeah, I messed up. Okay, so I need to. How am I going to do this? I did the wrong thing because I'm not very bright. I gave everyone an invite list. Okay, I deleted that. Hopefully this won't happen again. Boy, this is what happens when you've been streaming for a long time. I apologize to everyone for my tiredness. Oh, Thanks, Landon. Very sweet of you. You were still the only person who's ever done that. But I mean, I would love to see. Joe Whitman's my top player left. So I'm going to pull this out of here. So I messed up. Correct. Link it to the second round. Yeah, I'm doing that now. What I did, and I had to delete it for those who are curious why that slowed down there, is I did the guest invite link. And so that's why people were randomly showing up. Because instead of doing the YouTube link, which should now properly be displaying, I sent out the invite link. And that's why it was weird. So this should now, I'm going to just check. Yeah, so this is the correct one. So I apologize for that. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. Kemp Alderman is got big EVs. I like that quite a bit here. James Grover III or Gino Grover to Arizona. It's a pretty safe one. Oh, maybe Justin's going to come in and chat, and I'll have to change this if he joins us. Maybe I'll try to switch. I got the wrong layout, I think, though. But we'll see. It says device is not connected. But we'll see if Justin joins us. And then, this is in the pod. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be perfect, I should say. So we can just, if Justin joins us, we can fit into this box. I'm just going to, for now, I'll have myself like this. And if he joins, then I'll push that out. What's going on here? Justin wanted to know if I wanted him to join. Of course, I want Justin to join. If he is willing, you're going to see me moving a lot. My back is feeling the effects of this sitting around for this draft. But yeah, I don't know. I like what Cleveland has done. I'll be honest that they got, I said, if you weren't watching, my 5th best player available at that point in the draft. They added a power hitter. That's what we wanted, right? They added a power hitter. Still seeing the college guys. I mean, talk about the heavy influence of that 2020 small draft. Kemp Alderman, Gino Grover. Like I said, if Justin's listening and hasn't joined, but is there, Sean Sullivan has to hurt for him. I'm curious what my best available would even be at this point. So Joe Whitman 1, Nathan Zatello 2, Jack Hurley 3, Rock Chalosky 4, Colton Ledbetter 5, Cooper Pratt 6, Travis Honeyman 7, Mac Horvath 8th, Walker Martin 9, Tanner Witt 10. Oh, I guess we lost Justin. So that is a Jace Heffron 11 and Jerron Watts-Brown at 12. If he makes it to round 2, he could be an interesting pick for the Guardians with how they develop pitchers. Luke Keekshaw to the Twins for their 3rd selection. They're having a very Guardians-esque draft. Arizona State guy who, in spite of being in an Arizona school, really didn't hit for power or hit particularly well. No doubt defender, contact specialist. Not the biggest guy on him. So today we get through the competitive bounds B pick. So that's going to be, how many total picks will that come down to? We're going to go through pick 67. Then tomorrow is all of round 3 through 10. And then the day after, we get rounds 11 through, having a blank out, rounds 11 to 20. When I first started doing these, it was day 3 was rounds 11 to 50. Then it was 11 to 40. It was an all-day thing. And I used to, when I was writing for IBI, I would write every single capsule. And I just remember trying to turn them around before I get to the next one so I wasn't too far behind. Cleveland has 2 more picks. If this is your first draft you're paying attention to. They still have pick 58 and then 61. So they've got 2 picks coming up. Like I said, I've got several guys who are in my top 20. I feel like Rock Chalosky is the long shot to sign. Who's left? It's definitely interesting. This is the first year I just turned off the TV, especially because my streaming in the basement isn't always great. So I am going to copy this. I might invite my old friend Taylor Blake Ward. He and I have been chatting. Let's see if I can bring him in if he is free. I really haven't sent Taylor a DM in a year. I guess when you have other ways, you don't have to do with that. We're 34. I'm hoping it goes up. Boston. That is a nice pick with Nathan Zentello there. He is Twitch. He is one of the twitchiest guys in this class. There is so much upside. That is a fantastic selection. If you want a high upside, there is that upside shortstop. They just took in round 2. I really like Nathan Zanatello. He was he and Taylor might be jumping. We'll have to see. He and Ralphie Velasquez, who the Guardians took, the catcher / first baseman. We'll see if he can stay, get himself in a little bit better shape, stay in shape, and keep working. He's got really good pop times. Power's legit. But Zantello and Velasquez were the 2 prep players that just kept rising. Every time I went back and looked at their numbers, looked at their stats, looked at videos, those were the 2 guys that raised the most to me. And I feel like we have to point out, everyone's mad. Denzel Clark is the cousin of the Nailers, and he is in that system. So there is still Miles Naylor is going to get to play with his cousin potentially. So for as much as people are like, oh, they missed out on Miles is still going to go whereas I'm pretty sure Denzel Clark is a first cousin as well. But it was an overdraft by Oakland. Like, people are making a big deal. I thought that was, no, he's not a great athlete. Bo is a much better athlete. He doesn't have Josh's power. He doesn't have Bo's athleticism or hit tool. He gets the lowest evaluation of those 3 for me. For me, he's the worst of that grouping. I just don't see what they're seeing in him. I never had anyone be like, he pops to me. Like, that's just not something that came up. I don't understand it. I know why people like that story, but no. And people are mad, which is weird because people who know nothing about the draft are mad about not taking Miles Naylor because his last name is Naylor. Nothing says you can't trade for him down the line or sign him when he gets released. I don't see a pathway to him being a big leaguer. Maybe this will come back to haunt me and someone's going to, with my hair crazy after I've been recording for like 5 hours and post this clip and I look like a moron, but like, there is not a standout tool. There is not a tool that drives Miles Naylor to the big leagues. He doesn't have enough power. He doesn't have enough hit. He's not a stellar athlete. Wow, thanks, Mike. That's a camp. Mike and Landon, you guys are just thank you. Mind blown. So what I don't like, so with again, wow, Mike, it's so generous. I'm just kind of mind blown. The thing with Ralphie is I think he's a better hit tool, less power. Schwarber is like a 70 grade power. Ralphie is like a 60, 65. Oh, I think Justin's going to join. So I'm going to switch this over. I'm going to change layout and just, we'll just be in here tight. Let's just be in tight, Justin.
Sorry,
I don't.
Pain.
I apologize. Just kind of talking in the void. But Ralphie, better hit tool, potentially less power. Grant Taylor has been hurt all year, so that's a very interesting pick by the White Sox as well. Okay, I now have headphones.
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, my camera was just being difficult. I've been podcasting for like 4 straight hours tonight, and my camera.
No, I get you. I keep doing this because my back is like killing me.
I got on recorded tomorrow's episode, and then I went on and did a stream for the first round, and then now I'm here with you.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do the podcaster after all. We've had 3 people donate money. Or, well, 2. Landon has done 2, so he could tie Mike. People are just being unbelievably generous today.
That's all you, man. It's all you. It's all the work.
That's very kind of everyone. If you missed it, go to my Twitter at Mlb Draft. I have free content there if you want draft profiles. So
my night's been ruined, Jeff. I didn't get Brock Wilken. I didn't get Sean Sullivan. My night's ruined.
Kenneth and moving target. You guys gonna bring me to tears. This is no, it's so the funny story behind all of this is it's my wife's birthday. Hey, the San Francisco Giants, Walker Martin, that was one of the big rumors, and they got him around too. So there goes another guy from my top 10. But today is my wife's birthday. I won't say how old she is. At least it's not a milestone one, but she was very kind. Mine is our birthdays are 2 days apart. So first day of the draft is her birthday. Mine is Tuesday, so this has been kind of a mess. And if you listen to the live stream, you might have heard my daughter melting down for the picks 30 through 39. Because normally I do bedtime, and I've been down here all night, so it threw off everything, and that's hard for a 5-year-old to deal with. So it's been a bit of a rough go this evening. So everyone's generosity, geez, people, thank you. It's very kind. But I was wrong. I didn't think they'd go prep, but I like Ralphie Velasquez. As I was saying earlier, every time the 2 prep guys I kept moving up were Nathan Zatello and Ralphie Velasquez.
I didn't really do any work on him, to tell you the truth. He didn't seem like a guy that was going to be their pick, and not a single mock had him. Every mock this past week or two had been. There's been a couple of the weeks that were like Namala and Emerson and Wilken, and in the end, none of those guys even got to that pick. So things are interesting. I know you were tweeting Waldrop or bust. They didn't go Waldrop, so. No. I'm curious to see what your thoughts were after that didn't happen.
He was the 5th best player on my board, so I can't complain too much. And he was, of those 5, he had the best power. Like I had him at 22nd on my big board. I think that was the high man on him. Much like I was the high man. I did a bit of a victory lap in our in the when we were doing the show on Bryce Matthews going as high as he did. My exact quote was, "Hey, Dana Brown, call me. We'll make a big board together." It's
how shocked are you with the Athletics? I feel like that turned the entire draft upside down when the Athletics did that.
I almost had it. I flipped it at the last second. In my first mock, I had that, and then I flipped. They've had a terrible draft. I just hate that. Like they have had a awful draft. Like Ryan Lasko is really interesting, but he's not early 2nd round guy. He's not top 40 guy. Miles Naylor is a 3rd rounder.
Yeah.
Jacob Wilson is someone who should go in the 20s. He has 1 tool, and I'm just like, their whole draft looks like I'm like, everything's under slot. Like, are they just going to save money? Like, or is this just like,
the Orioles. I'm disappointed. I like Matt Horvath. I don't think the Guardians were taking Matt Horvath anyway. So
he was 39th on my board. That's frustrating.
Yeah, I enjoyed him. He's a nice power speed guy, and I didn't think he was going to get to 58. I know you got people asking, have you already run through the preferences and the options at 58? Are you just going pick by pick? What do you?
I've been going pick by pick. I haven't.
I don't have as much to add as you do. I'll just say
let's see. I'll just start at the top of my board. Let's see what I got. So Joe Whitman would be number 1. He is far and away at him 25th. After him is Jack Hurley. He's my number 2 guy. Rock Chalosky, who I don't think is signing. I think he's going to UCLA. So there's 3. Colton Ledbetter is 4. Cooper Pratt 5. Slight chance on him, but he is committed to Ole Miss, so he might be out. Travis Honeyman 6, and I would watch Honeyman to the Guardians of those 2 pick. 7th best. My board's getting picked over. Man, it really is. So to get my 7th best player, I have to go all the way down to 48 to get to Tanner Witt.
He's got to go back to school, right?
I mean, yeah, he's young. Like he's not even 21 yet.
He doesn't look good on the Cape right now either. I would be cautious about him.
Yeah. 8th is Jace Boheffrin. 9th is Jerron Watts-Brown. So 10 it would be Eric Batoni. 11 Cam Fisher. 12 Cam Johnson. 13 Travis Sikora. 14 Mike Boev. That's all I got left of my 57. I went 57 deep. Boev was the last guy that I felt like needed a spot in my rankings.
0 power for Boev though, right? Like it's 40
he's got
grade.
good EVs though. Okay. Can you work with him?
Are the Guardians the type that can?
No.
No,
they're not.
The type that can help a guy who has good Tampa. EVs. No. Yeah. Tampa once again having another interesting draft as usual. I mean, hey, at least the Cardinals didn't have the Guardians draft this year.
Yeah, that is true.
The Cardinals, took Chase Davis. Yeah, Brayden Taylor is an interesting pick though.
I just miss Boev? Oh, there we go. Brewers took him back to back. Man,
Brewers took 2 third basemen in this draft. That's interesting.
They're having the Guardians draft.
That's right. That's why they're my second favorite team, Jeff. Boy, it's gonna be fun when the Guardians trade for Corbin Burns and Brock Wilken, right?
Yep. That's how it's gonna work.
All right, Guardians are looks like 4 picks away here, so this should be interesting. There's still some pretty nice players on the board, though. Still plenty of college pitching available. I mean, Whitman is still there, like you said. Yeah, I know you like Watts-Brown a lot more than I do. I kind of fell off at the end on him.
I just think like he's a guy you kind of bet on, like with traits. Like I'm Mike Boev. Yeah. Did Mason go work for Milwaukee? I think he went to the Cubs. Boev and
oh yeah, those were some of his guys. Yeah. Those were definitely some of his guys.
Like, okay, the gap between Boev and Wilson is a hitter. I understand Wilson can play shortstop and Boev's a third baseman, but like they're the same hitter.
There's just so much college pitching on the board at this point. Like so much college pitching. I don't know if you want to do it. This is the Guardians' cursed pick, though, right? The 2nd round pick.
Yes, this is. I mean, you've got Jason Kipnis and Albert Bell, and then like almost nothing. Let me pull that up. I'll actually just do this not for fun. Ledbetter is gone. Did he just get taken?
Ledbetter,
3 in a row.
Ledbetter. There's your first Tampa Bay pick, the Guardians player, Ledbetter. Ledbetter is going to be a top 100 prospect in 2 years. Watch. That's fine. I don't know.
I really would have liked Ledbetter there. That might have been my gut feel of the guy kind of most wanted to get down there.
Do you have any college hitters you like right here? I think
Jack Hurley is about the last one.
Is this too high for Honeyman?
No, it's not. I guess you're right. Honeyman and Hurley. I keep blanking. I mean, the problem with Honeyman is he's so much a Guardians player because he's hurt all the time.
Yikes. I say go college pitching here.
Well, I mean, my board, I have a top 57, which is funny because the Guardians pick at 58. And that was not intentional. If anyone thinks like I was trying to be cute, I wasn't. But I think I've only got like 10 guys left from my board. And there were some guys that I knew I was not like Blake Walters was not for me, but I understood that he would probably go higher than that. So it's just, we got Ledbetter. I should also just do, but yeah, isn't Velasquez also young for the class? Just to go back to him,
he turned 18 in May, so it wasn't like
May. But in the old system, that would have counted. Yeah,
he played pretty much all of his senior year at 17 years old.
Yeah.
So, so kind of, that makes a lot of sense right there, and a lot of power. Do you think and they announced him as a catcher, so I would guess that.
Yeah, he had
next year when he gets
he had a 189 pop time.
Yeah, the arm's there, and I know you said you tweeted too. I saw your tweet saying as we move towards an automated strike zone, his framing won't matter.
Yeah, it's like he's got pop, he's got arm. Listen, conditioning hasn't always been there. So he's a barrel-chested kid, so it's just the build is in danger of that. But like if everything works, it'll. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure that I'm trying to turn off the actual streaming so our stream doesn't. Yeah, he's built like a tank. That's a good way to put it. So it's like if he can access that power, if he gets in a major league program and he really puts in the effort, it could be a very special pick. And I saw people being like, "Oh, this is because Bo Naylor isn't good." It's like, no. Again, go look at Boston. Guess what? If he becomes a star, you got two good pitchers. This guy is tall. Which guy?
That's like going back. That's like going back to 2020 when people were asking if Carson Tucker was picked to replace Francisco Lindor. Like that's just a very unelegant way of looking at the draft.
Mine was like, no. They already replaced Lindor with Gabby Arias. We've seen how that worked out. It's like that's the replacement trade.
Looks like Jack Hurley's coming off the board here. Someone said
Jack Hurley to the Mets.
Yeah, it seems like it's the pick.
I mean, my board is getting absolutely decimated. I mean, apparently this is where the teams agree with me. It's like these were the guys I really liked, and they're all going back to back to back.
Yeah. That's a program with a good track record too, Huntington Beach. I mean, you're playing against good competition up there in North Huntington. I saw someone say, one of our listeners, Ryan Park, who listens to a couple podcasts that we've both been on. He said that Nick Prado, he let me know Nick Prado went there, so that's a good one. He had an 84% contact rate last year in summer ball. That's pretty much right in the Guardians' range.
And if you look at like his EVs was 90th percentile.
I'll tell you what, it's a nice. The Mets took Brandon Sproat again. That's who they took. They didn't take Hurley, but they took Brandon Sproat. So this is the second year in a row.
Well, he has to agree to it. That's the only way that can happen. So he must have agreed.
That's right. Yeah, that's wild though. I think Sproat's a reliever, so I'm fine with the Mets doing whatever they're doing to do with that. Are the Mariners going to go prep here again?
No, they got to save some money, right?
I don't know. They might take a college pitcher here.
I mean, they like ceiling. God, I gotta at some point. It's going so fast right now that, like,
I know.
Okay, so it's even almost hard to keep up. It's like, okay, so I've got Whitman 1, Hurley 2, Cholosky 3, 4 Pratt, 5 Honeyman. Now I got to scroll for a long time to get to 6 because everyone else on my board is taken. I really have to scroll. I mean, I'm getting into the Tanner Witt 6, Jace Heffron 7, John Watts Brown 8, but Tony 9. Cam Fisher is 10th.
You have Cam Fisher 10th on your board?
Yes.
This feels too early to take Cam Fisher. Did he really move up boards like that?
No, just mine.
You don't think this is too early to take him?
I mean, he's 10th. I would take other guys over him, but I don't.
He should. Well, so the Guardians have 58 and they have 64 or 62. So they've got a couple picks quickly.
Yeah, here's my thought on Cam Fisher. 1, he's going to be cheaper. 2, listen, everyone gets so excited about what Nolan Chanel did. Oh, look at those numbers. Look at those numbers. Cam Fisher did almost as good numbers, different types of numbers in the same conference. Right. One of them struggled to hit 200 in the Cape. The other had an 800 OPS and was one of the best power hitters in the Cape. For a long time, until I gave in, I had Cam Fisher and Nolan Chanel back-to-back in my mock. I decided to be like, okay, I guess I'll go with the consensus. And maybe that's not what I should admit to, but I had them back-to-back with Fisher higher. And then I was like, you know what? This draft has almost the 2 expressions I wrote the most in those 57 profiles were 17-year-old shortstop and swing and miss problems. Like this class, there's so few guys. If you want a guy who did not have a swing and miss, B Scrolls, whose sister is pretty and who is tall. I don't know who this is.
I'm gonna guess he's talking about
Zantello.
Ralphie Velasquez.
Oh,
I don't know.
And then like I've had the White Sox. Apparently, Seattle liked him, liked Honeyman. Someone told me.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see where Honeyman ends up with everything that's been happening. Well, Sprout has to sign though. He has no leverage. Like, yeah, he had to agree to it, but he has no leverage. He has to go, or he just if he doesn't sign, he has to go play like independent ball for a year, which that's a waste of time for him.
Yeah. And then I thought the weirdest news of the day though was Gavin Cassis being like, no Geloff. You don't want a Virginia hitter. Like Kyle Teal fell to 14th because teams are finally realizing that Virginia hitters just bomb. Like it does not work for Virginia hitters. I think more than like, why did he slide? That's the only knock on him. It has to be that people are afraid of that program. People have been talking about the Virginia program for about 5 years as a place where hitters go to die. And
the Mariners took somebody out of William and Mary, which, you know, who was it? William and Mary.
I think that's our first, like Ben Williamson. Oh, he's a really good defender. Really good defender.
They went college, so there you go.
Yeah, but that's an under.
All right, Guardians are on the clock now.
What? That's a really under slot pick. Strong defender. Is he a senior too? Yeah, he's 22 years old. He's done well in the Cape in 9 games this year. But yeah, he's
take that to the bank.
He'll be 23 in November. So that is Ben Williamson is a senior sign. Really good defender, utility type, but that's to give them money because they went big on those prep guys. If you had told me a few years ago the Mariners would do that, but Williamson is our first way off the board guy.
William and Mary, interesting.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and still stick with. I keep saying college pitching. I think this is going to be a college pitching pick right here. But
I think it's going to be Watts Brown.
Really? Watts Brown. Okay.
Cape data.
I don't know. Joe Whitman's still there.
Yeah, I mean, I would love that if they took him.
Have the Guardians ever taken a Kent State? Oh, yes, they've taken a Kent State player. They literally took
Rick Banning's kid.
No, they took Tom Hamilton's kid.
Or I said the wrong. Yeah, I said the wrong guy.
Yeah,
Tom Hamilton's kid. Yeah.
They literally took Tom Hamilton. That's probably the last time I took a Kent State player.
Probably. Yeah, that is probably a true statement.
All right, I think the pick is in. Oh, they're just announcing the Alex Clemmy. This is a left-handed high school pitcher. Yeah,
he has no idea where the ball is going. Like he is big. He is 6'6", left-handed, throws up to 100, and has maybe the worst command in the draft.
All right, well, this is off the rail. He is he's committed to Vanderbilt. That could be interesting. Well, the Guardians don't select anybody they can't sign, so
yeah, they're signing him.
They're bringing in all 21 kids, but yeah, wow, 6'6" lefty from Rhode Island, so another cold weather arm too. Yeah, up to 100. Wow, that's interesting. Inconsistencies in delivery have led to command and control issues. Yeah, first round caliber arm, but wow. That's a different approach. That's they're making it hard to follow their trends.
I don't like that at all. He is like, I mean, I took like 3 looks at him and thought, okay, so this guy is undraftable because he's going to Vanderbilt and he has maybe the worst command in the draft. 6'6", 205. He's got big velocity.
Big size for sure. Hendricken. Yeah, this, like I said, this is a different pick so far. I mean, I don't know. Do you compare the Velasquez pick to the Bo Naylor pick? Like, they're not really similar players, but this is
I guess
definitely
to
a
me
different pick for them.
this is an
And this is not like they're getting. This is not an underslot signing either.
no.
Like
This is an
they're
F grade from me. Like
they're going
honestly,
to have
like
to go over slot to get him.
Clemmy's an F.
Okay.
I hate it. Like I watched him for a little bit and thought that nope. Like again, maybe you clip this in 5 years and I look like a moron, but I was just command and control are the things that are the hardest to develop. And this team hasn't done it since Clevenger. You know, that it's not what they do well.
That was a unique case for sure.
And you're drafting a guy, every other guy who's had command and control issues, they have not fixed. Has not gotten better. It has stayed an issue. And he is just, I'm not.
It's not something they're good at. They did take Jackson Humphreys last year, who not really the same type of issues. Like he wasn't. Jackson Humphreys had better control than Clemmy, but
Clemmy's another young for the class guy. They're leaning into that, only 17. But it's like,
tell you what, that unique arm release is probably something they really liked. He has a very unique delivery and arm slot.
But I mean, he's a reliever. I don't see a way. At best, he's a reliever to me.
It is going to be a long development path for him for sure. This is not a guy who no high school players get through, especially high school pitchers. They don't go very fast. So this Clemmy for sure will not be one of those. That's interesting. All right. Well, they'll have a chance to go for something different here in a few picks because they're up in about 15 minutes. So if that, will they take a break between 2 and Comp B?
Maybe a short one.
Yeah. Drew Hackenberg just went to the Braves. That's interesting. Well, I'm going to tell you, I don't do as much on this as you do, and I never have, and probably never will. But the work I did do on the draft this year, I did not have any on Velasquez or any on Clemmy because I did not think either of those guys fit them. So I did not spend a lot of time on them.
Like I said, Clemmy was getting some late run, so I decided to spend some more time on him. But I just was like, this guy's your best outcome is a reliever. Like it's the 2+ offerings. Yeah. I mean, you could say if everything works out, he's a monster. He's an ace. But that just doesn't happen. Like we know that it doesn't. Daniel, I don't like a Daniel Lynch comp. This is a guy who throws almost 100. Daniel Lynch doesn't throw that hard. Like I don't know if there is I don't think there is a comp for him.
Breaking ball, according to Rapsodo, says 16 inches of vertical break. That is a lot.
Yeah, I mean it's that curveball, right? Yeah, his curveball is something real, but he's fastball, curveball. The change is you're hoping for a show me pitch. Command and control are both 35s.
Does he have a changeup? Like, I don't know.
And he's got
yeah, this is very. When you come back to this draft next year, you start doing draft work next year, it's going to be hard to pinpoint trends because these are definitely off of trend for them. Everyone's saying Clemmy a boomer bust pick. It sounds like you agree. He's either going to be an ace or he's not going to make it at all. But you think that reliever is most likely outcome if he makes it?
I just don't see that third pitch and command issues. Then again, it's not like those tend to improve. I mean, I'm about ready to tweet that like in 2 years, he's either going to be the number 1 prospect or he's going to be out of their top 10. Like there's no in between.
Yeah, that's very, very different.
I am risk adverse. I don't believe in drafting pitchers early, and then I don't believe in taking guys with command issues.
The interesting thing is
weird. That's another guy who's kind of feels like we haven't had a lot of guys like Hackenberg and Benson are the only guys to me that are not top 100 guys. So
Just a lot of new traits for them, a lot of new types of players. Like I said, next year's pre-draft work is going to be interesting because now you've got to include the guys they took this year, and they've bucked a lot of recent trends of what they look for. So I don't know, have they changed something in their or they just really see this guy as someone's mechanics they can work with? So surely 64, or I'm sorry, 62 is going to be. There goes Alonzo Treadwell of the Astros. So it's a guy I kind of like too.
See, I wasn't as big on him.
He did or did not have Tommy John?
He did.
That's a big guy, though. You're talking about big guys.
6'8".
That guy is
yeah,
big.
that's part of the reason I did not like him. I am not a sizeist.
Last Guardians pick out of Bishop Hendricken. Arthur just sent me this note. Who do you think it was? Last Cleveland pick out of that high school?
I have no idea.
Our buddy Thomas Pannone.
Oh,
he is.
We got him out of college. It's a competitive balance pick, not a compensation pick. So they got it for being one of the 10 smallest markets. Every other year, it's a first rounder or a second rounder. So last year, it's what they used for Justin Campbell. This year, it's the second round pick. And then I feel like this year, these were based on reverse order. So like Cleveland had the best record of these teams that got the pick. So they got the highest compensation pick. Baltimore next. So
I will probably jump off shortly after this pick. I probably won't stick around because they pick what, 70? They pick one more time tonight?
No, this is 62. It? Yeah, they only do the comp round. Round 3 goes tomorrow. 3 to 10 is tomorrow, and 11 to 20 is Tuesday.
Cool.
Yep, I'm gonna wait to see who they have. I'll finish off the live stream. Thank you to everyone who joined us. This big thank you to those who did donations. That's kind of amazing. I'm still blown away that occurred. And then, yeah, we're just kind of looks like maybe a bit of a pause here. I don't want to mess with the stream, so I have not actually watched any of the broadcasts tonight. I just kind of wait for the draft pick tracker to say, "Hey, pick has been made."
Jeff, you talked about this guy a little bit.
Andrew,
you brought him up. Yeah, you brought him up a couple of weeks ago on the draft, but you also on the show, but you also dropped him saying he's fastball only. So this is a college pick, though.
Yeah, he's a reliever all the way. He's man. Yeah, he's got a fastball, and that's it. He's a senior. This might be to save money for Clemmy.
Yeah, that's interesting.
No, isn't he a righty? I think he's a righty.
He's a right-hander. Yeah, he's a right-hander.
Yeah,
he's a righty. I mean, the fastball is good. It's got good metrics, and he throws strikes, and it's up to 99. So like,
it's a great fastball. Yeah, that's all he's got.
Yeah, I don't know where the second pitch is. I agree, but I mean, he has success in the ACC, so that's not a bad conference.
If you go to Prospects Live, I wrote him up.
You did. That's right.
If you go to Prospects Live, you can see my write up on Walters.
I really just don't know if I love going for a relief type with your comp B pick to save money to sign Clemmy. I don't know. But there's a reason that they know more about this than I do, and you know more about this than me. It's weird. It's a lot of very different picks than I thought they would go with. But he throws a lot of strikes. I will say,
I like the first rounder, not liking these second rounders at all.
Yeah, he's a senior, so he's definitely. And then Baltimore takes Jackson Baumeister right after, who I really liked. I liked him. He's a draft eligible sophomore, but yeah, what a weird first 3 picks. I mean,
it's a very deflating. Oh, he's already a pen arm. Walters is a pen arm. He's a pen arm.
Yeah, he's a college reliever. He's not. They're not going to start him in the pros. Although I didn't think they would. I mean, Franco Alamon went back and forth at Miami, at Florida. Well, so did Jack Leftwich. Jack Leftwich threw in a lot of different roles at Florida as well. But I thought they would put him in the bullpen, but he's been a starter. But I don't think Walters has ever started at Miami, has he?
Maybe one or two here or there. Like at the start of the year, it's like it's terrible. They aren't signing it. That they aren't giving the chance. And then I like dug in. I'm like, it's because he can't. He doesn't have another pitch. There's no way to do it. Oh, thank you, Sean Z. I missed that as I was talking about. Thank you for that. That's very.
I do remember you saying that. Yeah. All right. Well, that's day one for the Guardians. It was interesting.
I had someone get mad, saying that how can I know what someone's going to be best case at 17? And I was like, well, I don't see a pathway to success is my response to that. Like when command and control are that bad and it's hard to get anything more. That's a very hard. The number one reason pitchers fail outside of injury is command and control issues. So that's why I personally avoid them. And again, Cleveland isn't Tampa. They don't do well with that.
Yep.
So
mixed feelings about this one.
Yeah, like Andrew Walters is a solid safety sign. This is what you have to understand. Walters is a money savings pick. So they save money with him. 62. Listen, he was under consideration for my list. 62 it's whatever. Andrew Walters is also the guy that I state in my prospect profile that, he is the money favorite to be the first player from this draft to the big leagues.
Yeah, you did say that. I read that the other day.
But does this team really need a fast moving reliever?
I mean, everybody could use that. I mean, there's relievers are, I just think it's weird doing it at 62. That's my only thing.
Yes, I guess that's kind of more mine. Like it's a weird pick. Clemmy's a weird pick. I like the Reds. I didn't love the Reds' first two picks, just because I'm not a
Here goes Caden Grace.
Brett Lauder. I think it's like they got a 3 and a 4, and if you're picking in the top 10, I want more than a 3. Like I thought there were better players to take. So someone asked about that, and then Stafura is a good value in the second round. He was pick 43. He might have been ranked 43 on my board. Like Yohandy Morales went 40th, and I had him 40th. Stafura was 45th on my board. So that, it's a solid draft. It's not like a mind blower. It wouldn't be one of my favorites, but it's also not one it's not Oakland.
The Astros took Alonzo Treadwell.
Yes.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Because you know what's going to happen.
Arizona just took Caden Grice. Some big time power there. Announced him as a pitcher. Yeah. That's interesting.
The Astros are going to absolutely turn Treadwell into a top of the rotation starter. Guarantee it.
Yeah. Twins draft was, I like the Twins draft every year. Jenkins was a value pick. Soto, listen, I don't necessarily, he was one of my top 10 players, so I can't hate on that too much. As I've stated, I'm not the biggest fan of prep pitchers. And I didn't love Luke Kikashaw that high. I don't think I think he's a utility guy.
Yeah. The Guardians are going to start their press availability, I think, here shortly. Yeah. So I might jump over to that and just kind of hear what they have to say. You said 10 minutes in the final pick, and they made their final pick, 5 minutes ago?
Yeah.
I might jump over there and see what they have to say about day one. Yeah. So
fair enough. Yeah, it's moving fast. It's the nice thing. It's kind of weird. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be done. I'm gonna, at some point have a snack. Cole Carrig. There we go. There's another one people like.
No, stop it. Why are the Rockies are out to ruin my dreams.
Cole Carrig's got like 30 grade power. He's a utility backup all the way, but he could be They announced him as a catcher. Run him out there, try him with that. Weird draft for the Rockies. Because
they just like to ruin pitchers. They're going to ruin Gabe Hughes. They're going to ruin Chase Dowlander.
I was like, they are so bad at development. I would have liked. They're going to ruin Sean. They took Sean Sullivan from you as well.
They're just out to ruin all my favorite pitchers.
The Rockies are out to get you today. I mean,
Someone's got to do
Carrick's
something with Colorado.
a fine value there, but it's just
It's early.
he's toolsy, but he's not, because it's like there's not he's got an arm and he runs well and he makes a lot of contact, but there's not enough walks, there's not enough power. He's a backup. Maybe in an ideal role he's like Tony Phillips and he's playing left field one day, right field the next, center field the other, and he's just given a day off a week. Man, I'm still just kind of bummed. I don't even think either of these guys I even entertained for like the top 100. Like, I don't even think they're like Walters was, because he's a reliever, so I wasn't that high on him. Like it's okay. But Clemmy, that was a big no thank you.
Young for the class, got that arm slot. That's something I can think of.
And he's got RPMs.
Like spin.
They like the spin, and he can spin, and it's all a ceiling bet. But they have not. This team has been terrible at prep pitcher development. Terrible. You got Tristan McKenzie, and you got Tristan McKenzie.
Yeah,
and you got Tristan McKenzie. Like, that's it. They do not. Everyone else has been a bust. I mean, they are not good at. That's part of the reason I don't like that pick. They're not good at developing command and control. Like, the two biggest issues here is this is someone who needs help in areas they don't. This draft did not lean into their strengths. Last year's draft leaned into strengths. This year's draft has been the opposite. It's like this is a challenge draft instead of a.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to make it interesting. All right, I'm going to run and jump on to see what they're talking about. I have no questions to ask tonight, to be honest with you, because I'm just going to listen in and see what they have to say, because I don't have.
Are you going to look forward to someone asking how quickly Velasquez can get to the big leagues?
I'm sure, yeah.
Can he be Kyle Schwarber? Can Clemmy help them soon? Is Andrew Walters going to pitch in the postseason? These questions are coming.
I mean, Andrew Walters might pitch in next postseason if they make it, but
yeah,
it's one pitch, but sure. All right, well, everybody tell Jeff what a great job he did, because he did a great job, and you're doing the show tomorrow, so I flew solo today on the other. If you're listening for a normal Guardians of the Future Wrong podcast, Locked On Guardians episode that comes out in a half hour. So
yeah, and then I'm gonna do a bonus. We're going to have 2 drop tonight, and then I'm going to have 1 after every other round. Then we're going to have 1 day off in this week because of the bonus, because there's nothing else to, the game. Right. Once we're back to games, we'll be back. So I think it's like there won't be a show Thursday because we'll have 2 tomorrow, but there'll still be 5 this week.
Yep. All right. Well, I'll catch you guys later. See you.
Thanks for hopping in, man. Carson Rockford to Kansas City. That is someone I did not spend time on. I think that's the first person in here that I can honestly be like, yeah, that was someone I don't think I looked up once, which, maybe not ideal when he is. Yeah, because he was terrible in the Cape. That was why he got dinged from my list, because he was a small school guy. Then everything you see this season, you have to balance off of Cape data. Like, okay, so when he faced the best of the best, he struggled. But when he was facing weaker competition, Xander Muth to the Pirates to end it. So no Joe Whitman. That's definitely a surprise at this point in the show, in the draft. Muth's the one who's like Tanner Houck. That's right. Another guy's probably a reliever. So if for anyone who's curious, who's left from my big board, we'll end it this way. Thank you. Best draft so far. I really got to look at the second round, because I know who I liked in round 1. Maybe I kind of dig Boston's. Like, Boston got value with both picks. Now I'm forgetting round 1. maybe the Brewers, Milwaukee, and like Tampa's as well. Yeah, I think I like that Tampa draft quite a bit. Tampa might be my favorite draft. Yeah, probably Tampa, which is what everyone wants to hear. Tampa Bay Rays with the best draft because that's what they needed to do for a team with limited system. I'm kidding, of course. Tampa and Boston stand out to me. Those are the two that really are the best draft classes in my opinion. Okay, so top 10 players available. Kind of interesting that Jack Hurley didn't go, like just because he's been such a known and famous name for a while, and he's a solid center field defender, and we saw so many teams draft good defensive center fielders. So Joe Whitman 1, Hurley 2, Cholosky 3, Cooper Pratt 4, Travis Honeyman 5. If Travis Honeyman was healthy, I think he would have been a first rounder. That's why I'm kind of surprised they didn't gamble on him. 6 is, keep on scrolling, Tanner Witt is 6. J. Split Heffron is 7. Jerron Watts Brown is 8. I really thought he'd go in the second round. Eric Batoni 9. Cam Fisher 10. Cam Johnson 11. Travis Sakura 12. And I've only got 12 guys left on my 57. 45. I don't know. I don't love those college pitchers the Reds took. And I think the Tigers blew it not taking Langford and going with Max Clark. I did not like that component of it for the Detroit Tigers. And like, in Seattle, it's like I liked the prospects they took, but they didn't take anyone I loved. They took guys like Colt Emerson was a guy in the 40s, Vermello in the 30s, Pete in the 40s. That's why I wasn't quite as high on Seattle. Like I had Ralphie Velasquez higher than anyone Seattle took. I really liked Cleveland's first rounder. Legitimately enjoyed Cleveland's first rounder. But after that, like it just I won't go negative. I completely missed the Cubs comp pick. Because I missed the comp picks. That's what's happening. We're now in the comp picks. I was like, wait a second, I missed this extra Cubs pick. Whitman just went to the Giants. That's a nice pickup. Because I was like, wait, Jackson Wiggins, I missed that. So you're right. So Whitman knocks out another pick. Now I only have 11 guys left. Whitman went to the Giants. Pick 69. That's a good value. And I don't know, it's interesting. Because they went prep, and that second prep's going to cost them money. Whitman, you think, is going to cost 7 figures. So I'd be kind of surprised. Give me 1 second, everybody. Sorry, my cat's being a massive jerk and is probably gonna poop on the floor here in a second, so I ran off. Yeah, a chair stream because I have a 16-year-old cat, and all of a sudden he's decided he wants to not use his litter box all the time. I was trying to prevent that, so I had to run off to try to block that, and I don't think I successfully did. But having said that, no, I like Cole Young better than Colt Emerson because Cole Young had some power potential. There's more ceiling with that pick. Did not love Emerson, I didn't see a carrying trait. Kuehler is interesting to Atlanta. A lot of people really liked him. There are some massive health issues, from what I understand, and that should officially end the evening. 11 of my top 57 gone. Jack Hurley, now the top prospect left on my board. With Whitman off. So it goes Hurley, Chalowski, Cooper Pratt, Travis Honeyman 4. And then after those 4, it is a lot of scrolling. Like those guys are all in the 20s. And then you get to my like 7th tier. Oh, that's probably just my watch dying. To get Tanner Witt for 5th. 6, Bo Heffron, 7, John Watts Brown, 8, Batoni, 9, Cam Fisher, 10th, Cam Johnson, 11, Travis Sakura. It is. Oh, it was an interesting draft in the regard that, like, listen, Seattle needed a senior sign. Apparently, Cleveland needed a senior sign. Miles Naylor was an overdraft. I'm sorry. He just is. Miles Naylor already got drafted. He was overdrafted by Oakland in the comp round. So they can't draft him. And he's a 3rd round pick, in my opinion. He has less power than Josh, less athleticism than Bo, does not have the hit tool of Bo, is likely a first baseman. He doesn't have the power of one brother, doesn't have the athleticism of the other. He's kind of an in-between, and that's not a pathway to success. I'm just still disappointed in this day too. What I'm not disappointed in, I want to give another thank you to Kenneth, Moving Target, Sean Z, Landon, and Mike. I can't believe you guys did stuff, but yeah. Well, the interesting thing with Miles is while he didn't go to play with Bo and Josh, he went with that where his cousin Denzel Clark is a prospect in Oakland system. So it's still a family connection, even though he did not go to his brothers. Just so weird to me. Like last year, they leaned into heavily what they develop well, and this year they leaned into the guys they struggled to develop. So yeah, I'm curious to see for tomorrow what they do in the 3rd. I'm curious to see what they do in all of the rounds, but it should be a fun thing. I'll be covering it. I got to figure out if I'm going to stream it or what I'm going to do with it, or if I'm just going to kind of be lazy, because tomorrow is the one that moves a little slower. It is a long day in terms of getting those other ones, just everyone picked, selected. And then day 3, that's like done in 2 hours. Those picks go so quickly. It is going to be out of the gate, fast. I had a thought and I lost my thought. With that, I have now been streaming essentially for 5 straight hours in various forms. I think we got 34 viewers. I want to thank you all who came and joined. I think I'm going to drop off, do the actual episode of Locked on Guardians. But yeah, thank you all for coming in, chatting, having some fun on draft day. I'll be either on Twitter or doing a stream for the next few rounds. Thank you all for joining us, even if the Guardians aren't your team. Thank you all again, and go Guardians, go.